Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching my review of Summerton Small Batch Adnams 10-year-old. I'm Toby and you're watching Whisky Shared. Welcome to my review of Summerton Small Batch Adnams 10-year-old. This is a 10-year-old English whisky from Suffolk and comes from the Adnams distillery. Adnams are brewers and have been brewing beer for over 150 years. But in 2010 they started distilling, and the distillery they have is the third oldest English whisky distillery. This particular whisky is aged in first fill ex-bourbon barrels. It's 48.8% ABV, it's non-chill filtered and natural colour. It was £50 as part of my Summerton Whisky Club subscription and was launched in February 2024. Should we find out what it tastes like? On to the whisky. So before I start nosing and tasting, let's have a quick look at the colour. I'd say that's like a light gold. It really is a typical sort of shade you'd expect for a first fill ex-bourbon. Let's start with the nose. Right, so interestingly, the first thing I get with this is like a honey, and then it becomes quite floral. There's some vanilla. I'm getting green apples. And there's also like a hint of dry wood. But yeah, not really getting much more. Let's move on to the palate. Yeah, so the first thing I get with this on the palate is like sweet vanilla. Really is sweet, very fresh. And then that sort of turns into like a charred oak note. It really comes to the fore as the spirit evaporates from your palate. That sort of charred oak note is really quite noticeable. Let's have another sip. Yeah, so I'm now getting some fruitiness, like orchard fruits. And then as that starts to dissipate, I'm picking up like a savoury, almost umami note, which is really quite nice. It's a nice sort of offset to that sweetness. And then comes like a fizziness. There's definitely like a fresh, almost youthful note to this. Even though it is 10 years old, that fizziness definitely gives a fresh character to this whisky. Let's have a final sip. Yes, I'm not getting much more at this stage, but there is a little bit of heat, a little bit of chili pepper, and there is a really sort of sweet icing sugar note that is present in this whisky. In terms of finish, I'd say it's medium. I'd say there's a little bit of bitter wood. There's lots of vanilla. There's like green apple skins, and yeah, I'd say there's a hint of chili pepper in there as well. But in terms of value, well, I got this as part of my Summerton's subscription, and at £50 every 2 months, I think a bottle of this, which is a 10-year-old English whisky, I think is fairly good value. I think you'd struggle to find something similar for that sort of price. But being a distillery I'm not familiar with, a whisky that I've not had before, I think this is a great introduction to potentially what Adnams can be. I know they do have several core range releases, and they'll definitely be on my list to try soon. But this whisky is sweet, it's fresh, it's vibrant. I think It reminds me a lot of Lowland whiskies, Lowland Scottish whiskies, and that's not a bad thing. They're definitely tasty, they're definitely fresh, they're definitely clean spirits, but in an ex-bourbon barrel they don't really wow. But sometimes you don't need a whiskey that wows. Sometimes you just need something that you can enjoy those core flavours, that fresh orchard fruits, and just enjoy the spirit. If you've tried this whiskey, then let me know in the comments. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you've tried other Adnams and if you want to suggest one that you think I should try after this one, then also let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I think as an English whiskey, I think this is definitely showing a lot of promise, and I'm surprised it isn't more mainstream as a English distillery. Hopefully you found this interesting, and hopefully you come back for more next time. Stauncher.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.